Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I'm going to go over two quick things. I'm going to show you guys some cards that I'm going to crack out because I didn't realize there was some controversy around the grading company itself, but because I don't deal with them that much, I'm going to just see what they grade from another company. And then the second thing is I'm going to show you guys one of those test disco cards that popped up, and I'm going to compare, and I'm going to show you guys some of the red flags that I think there are going on with them, and maybe we can get some more minds on it if you guys see this video. But let's start off with these. If you guys remember, I showed these in the previous video, saying that I tried crossing them with CGC, but they said that they do not cross PGC. It's just like the main companies that they cross over there, and so these were sent back in case. And so actually I stuck them on eBay. I put one in my personal collection. It was one of these. I think it might have been that one, and then the gray dot one. As far as I know, there's not a gray dot error. I mean, it's just a little gray dot down there. I know there's one with like a red dot over here that's repeated multiple times, but I don't know if that gray dot one is or not. It's really small. But I stuck these two up on eBay, and I got tagged in an E4 thread. Apparently, there is some controversy around PGC. Their research, from what they could find, there was a lot of the stuff popping up right where the stuff was being graded, and you can't actually publicly grade through them. So it might be like a private type deal where somebody may own the company and then grade their own cards. I really don't know. This is just kind of what they talked about there. And if that's the case, there's a definite conflict of interest. I know there's conflicts of interest, as it is with the bigger companies, but there's so many gears working with like PSA and eBay. I think we're pretty safe with them, probably safest, in that situation. But when you don't know much about a company and they don't even accept cards publicly, that could be a problem. But anyways, I still think the cards are pretty nice. I'm going to see. I think when I had sent them over, I said like minimum 9 on this one, maybe minimum 9 on this one. And then I did want to get a 10 on this, but, if I send them to PSA, we all know T17, it's just got like almost no shot. So I'll probably crack these and just see what kind of grade that they get. But I did pull them down. Talked with Z&G. He said he got a bunch of stuff in. It was kind of controversial. And so I'm going to see if there's anything going on with the cards once I pull them out. Like the Chansey, I don't see this getting a 10, but you just never know. The front looks pretty clean. But like on the back side, if you look pretty close, you might see... It's kind of hard to see, but there are a few white specks. It could be some of those ones that kind of like rub out on the side, but like the one Typhlosion, I want to say this one, it's out of the case now, or out of that sleeve, so it should be a little bit easier. You can see it right there, the print lines. So I would think that's what's going to hold this one back the most, because the backs on these, on the Neo Genesis Typhlosions, look really clean, but still really nice card. It's got a super great placement for swirl or for a swirl. So we'll just see what happens. I'm going to crack them out, send them in, and then I'll show you guys once I get them back. Now, what I want to talk more about is this right here. A guy on Instagram bought one of the test prints, the discos that have popped up. And as you can tell, this is like square cut. You could probably immediately tell right off the bat that it's definitely going to be a hand cut. It's not a perfect type deal. He sent his Magneton Shadowless card along with it. I assume just for like comparison. I'm going to show you guys kind of what's going on here. So right off the bat, some of you may notice something like it's a little different with like the font and the color, but look at the gloss. So like you can see the shininess on the surface. The regular Shadowless card does not have that. Same thing with the back. Even the color looks off. It's like darker. It doesn't really look like the... let me see. Let's see if I can't... You can see how there's almost like a texture to the surface, but it's not like this. I'm hoping the camera can make it out. But it's almost like there's lines in the surface itself, and you can see it's pretty beat up, but like this, the cut on it, it's not clean. I weighed the cards, and when I weighed them, this is actually 0.2 grams. It was roughly 10% lighter than this Shadowless Magneton. There shouldn't be that weight difference. There is a lot of flex to it. I'm not just sitting here bending the card. It's just much more flexible. Where, I mean, this is going to have, cards do have some flex to them, but I got to apply a lot more pressure to get it to do that on a regular card, whereas this one, I mean, it's something you can feel. It's almost like it's flimsy. But other than that, I mean, there are some good things going on, but I'm going to show you guys some pictures on my phone because I can't show you the whole disco uncut sheet that I have, because I have a full uncut sheet of disco hollows, but I'm going to show you some discrepancies that I found. All right, so there's me showing the gloss. You can kind of see the difference there. I'll zoom in on some of these. I've got a bunch of pictures. I'll stop on a few. Okay, so right off the bat, not many people mention this on IG, but you can see it says stage 1 on mine, stage 2 on theirs. And this sheet right here actually matches up with the shadowless sheet, like the unlimited shadowless, and based off the dates and the printing, this would have been after first edition base but before shadowless. And to have two different print types, or like black printing plates for these sheets that were never released, it just seems very, very unlikely. Now, it's possible. I think that because the Blastoise and the Poliwrath all have stage 1, and there's also another difference in the black ink that both the Blastoise and Poliwrath have that this Gyarados have that the Gyarados on the disco sheet doesn't have. It's possible maybe it was used as like a template from one of the other water type Pokemon, but you'd still need a whole nother plate, like a black plate, to have this black ink to be different, at least from what I understand about printing. But that seemed to be a red flag. Also, look at the size and like the placement of like how with these dots, like it's much bigger. Well, it's not much bigger, but it's noticeably bigger, like just with your eyes. The disco hollow foil in this versus what's on the actual disco uncut sheet. And when you get to looking at it, these are very uniform, whereas these are a bit more scattered, and you can kind of tell how they're not always in line. Some of them overlap, where these right here, they're pretty much in straight lines. You can even see a T right here where my thumb is. So I'm not, the hollow pattern isn't the same. The surface isn't the same. The stock is more flimsy. It's definitely more saturated. The color on this Gyarados is much, it's just got much more contrast to it. It's a deeper greenish yellow versus what is on this, which that's not always a red flag, because you could have sheets that were missing their UV coat and they'll fade. They'll almost look like they're albino in a way. I've got a Team Rocket sheet that the borders on it, they look almost like a closer to tan than yellow, I guess you could say. And there were cards that, especially in Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge, that were released with cut corners that you could pull right out of a pack that had that different border color. This is me trying to take a few pictures without the flash, but you can see the color difference between one Gyarados and the other. And then if you didn't notice, down here at the bottom, the resistance is also different. You can see it says -30 on the disco sheet, but it does not have that on this one. And the reason we're testing this, he sent it to me because he was basically curious if these were actually real. We did a little bit of a video on it not too long ago, and there's just some discrepancies that are hard to ignore. Like you can tell, like when these are side by side, like you can get the disco hollow foil to pop through this surface gloss, but it's a lot tougher. Whereas on the discos, like it's really obvious, like it is a super deep hollow bleed, at least for my disco sheet. I don't know if this is universal across the board, but like you can see the Charizard there. See that one? And this is me holding them like it's flat against, because I've got this inside of an acrylic, but you can see right there, it just reflects very strong through the surface. And this has a different type of surface through it, or surface on the card itself. Yeah, that's without flash. and you can see the Gyarados just doesn't do the same thing. So for me, the biggest red flags, the weight difference, the glossy texture. You can see the lines a little bit better now. It's just like really uniform lines, and then even on the back side, like it almost just looks like it's a screen type print or something. But yeah, and then this right here just being completely wrong. I mean, it's not stage 1, and it's missing the resistance. missing information isn't as bad as having incorrect information. Like, I don't know why this would say stage 2 on it. And then you can't tell too well from the pictures on my phone. Maybe you can see a little bit better, but the font's about the same, but it's just more bold. Like, it's just like a deeper, like even these little letters, they're just stronger. So there's a lot of differences, I think, with this compared to what we have known to be discos. And to be completely fair, I mean, I don't know if there's information out there that could ever prove without a shadow of a doubt that the disco uncut sheets or disco cards that are out there are even real. I mean, you got to think, you know, coming from Akabane, that's going to be like one of the creators of Pokemon, and, you know, he messed this up, right, with the prototypes and all this other stuff, and now they're putting out more crap now. You know, these right here, the provenance really, I mean, as far as I know, there is none, you know, that traces back to Wizards of the Coast anyways. They've just been around so long. It'd be kind of cool if somebody could get a hold of Crazy Pokemon, because he had, I believe, like 10 or so of these disco uncut sheets, at least at one point. I don't know if he still does or if he's even still around. But if he does still have them, and he has some variations of the disco sheet, that would be interesting. But as far as I know, they're pretty much all the same. They've got the layout of the shadowless, the unlimited shadowless base set holo sheet, and, you know, there's pretty much like a 1-for-1 type deal. But I've never seen a sheet with a Gyarados that said stage 2 on it, so that to me is like a really big red flag. But anyways, so while I'm not going to sit here and say for sure that this card is a counterfeit, I'm going to just say that there's no evidence really pushing for it to be real, unless, you know, people get in there and analyze the dot matrix and maybe that's the same. But it's got a lot going on for it that make it less likely to be real. So for me, especially with what all this crazy stuff that's been coming out and that's been faked, and, you know, more of that stuff seems to be being pushed into the market right now, which is insane. As for me, I wouldn't buy these at the moment, but, you know, if you got that appetite for risk, just go into it knowing that I don't see how this could ever be proven as real, unless there was like some serious evidence, you know, to the contrary, that, you know, or maybe even new types of ways of figuring out whether or not Pokemon cards are real or counterfeit. You know, if something come out, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. There's a lot of really smart people out there. To me, I just kind of go off of, you know, what I can see, what's in front of me. I'm not like, I don't know the whole deal on how to like analyze things with computers and, you know, really up close. But there's a lot of good minds out there, so who knows what's going to come out. But like I said, in my personal opinion, I don't think this would be something that you want to touch right now. But it is cool to see. And who knows, you know, maybe one day we will know. But that's all I had for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed the shorts. If you have any questions or information that you would like to add, please do. And as always, we'll take it for what it is, and we'll try to add more information. I believe the E4 thread is continued to update over time. I don't know about, you know, what's all been on there. I haven't looked at it really since our last video, but I have heard that there has been a good bit of information there. So they may have further updates. They may have already discussed this part with the text being different, and, you know, the holoful having larger dots and a different type of pattern, you know, that kind of stuff. But as always, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.